you define womanhood?
You sound like Matt Walsh.
It's a good question.
Womanhood, to me, is about standing in integrity. It is about being confident in who you are. And me, as a Black trans woman, should not be a threat to you. And what I see from a lot of cisgender women is they're trying to deem what womanhood is supposed to look like. I have my own perspective of womanhood. We can coexist in the same world, but the reality is we get so stuck on parts. Having a vagina is not the only thing that makes you a woman. I'm sorry. It takes integrity, it takes courage, it takes lifting other women up. It takes those things to begin to defy womanhood, and there's so many other different things.
Women's greatest strength, I do think that only biological women are capable of going through that process and bringing life into the world.
I need to push back on that because we're also forgetting that trans men and trans masculine people can also give birth as well. And what did he say?
What? What? Give me that. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Here we go, I'm TJQUaKe, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing. Yeah. Here we go, I'm TJQUaKe, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing.
Booyah, what's cracking, ladies and gentlemen? This is TJQUaKe, Ghetto Gamer, and I'm back once again. Happy holidays, happy all that wonderful stuff. Bringing in the New Year's coming in real soon, this weekend, I think. All kinds of crazy stuff. I've been away for a minute, y'all. I've been away for a minute. Hold up a second. Yes, I've been away for a minute, you guys. It's been doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Been getting my upgrade on my computer and all that shit. Meta PCs, giving them a shout out. What's cracking, Meta PCs? Yeah, they did a brother justice. Cause I had to bring my shiz up, y'all, because just too much lagging with the vocal stuff and the lip syncing and all that. I know y'all caught on to some of that stuff sometimes when the lips are moving, but the voice is way over here. Wait, over here. Hey, hello, over here. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, thank you for coming through and just checking out my flavor, enjoying what I do. If you do guys like what we do here, what I do on this crazy flavor of YouTube and everything, please subscribe. The likes help out a lot. They really help a brother out. And most definitely share this video with all your friends out there so we can get more people to know what's going down in this crazy world that we live in. Amongst all the other things. We also do, TJ and MJ Spend Your Dollar, Save Your Dollar movie reviews, which we're going to be doing a lot more of that coming in here in the new year when that pumps up here in 2023 and everything. That's with my beautiful wife, MJ. And so let's get on with it. That's a real woman, by the way. I married a woman, not one of these, whatever these things are and everything. So I had to do a bunch of shit. I had to start transferring stuff over to my new computer. I don't got everything all transferred yet. I don't got any of my other background things that I use, all my shiz that I like to use, but I do got a lot of new tools. Yes, I'm using that new Stream Deck Plus. Oh, it is a beauty. So that's by Elgato, giving them a shout out as well and everything. I'm not sponsored, but I'm just giving the shouts out, you guys. That's all. But anyway, back to the lesson at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, today we got some craziness with this, the trans women versus real women. That's what I'm going to call it. They like to say cis women. I don't say cis women. You know why? Because there was never a thing called cis women before. Okay? There was never a thing like that. It was just a woman. That's it. Because there didn't need to be a thing to identify different type of women because there's only one type. And that's a woman that has breasts, grows a vagina, has ovaries that can actually produce a child and grow in a baby inside their stomach. This woman right here, or this trans woman, okay, says that, oh, no, that's not true. I'm going to back up off on, we're going to back up on that. We're going to have to back up off on that, sister, because the trans men can have babies too. Well, dumbass, guess what? Trans men are actually biological women. That's the reason why they can have a baby, because it always goes right back to the source. The source is the biological birth of what you came out as. A woman is what that trans man was. Let's get on to some more of this stuff with these crazy women got to say, because they all got cuckoo in the brain somehow. So we're gonna go on over here. Let's go back over here and see what this girl's got going on.
Just gifts.
Step forward if you agree. The transgender movement is indoctrinating our youth.
I'm gonna go ahead and say big yes. Big yes. Come on, conservative women.
We are seeing, especially on social media, on TikTok, you're seeing a lot of people in this community really just targeting children, and you're seeing drag shows, even in conservative states like Texas, and even just media, movies. Like, it seems like everything seems to be targeted at these kids. You have drag story hour for kids, and it's just really, I think, predatory in a way. And I'm not saying every trans person is doing this, but as a whole, there does seem to be a route that they're taking to get to the kids.
When you hear Blue's Clues playing in the next room, and then you hear the gay parade song, it's Blue's Clues, you're not expecting to be talking to the children about that. Yeah. It really makes you wonder, are they really coming for the children?
And I think we see in our population now the rate of young children who are identifying as transgender, non-binary is skyrocketing. And I think there's something to be said for people who are truly experiencing gender dysphoria, which we recognize exists, and those who are experiencing what is now going to be called, or in the future going to be called, this social contagion gender dysphoria, where they're being exposed to it on social media.
That's interesting. Social contagion theory. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one yet.
Or in school, or mom and dad are having a conversation about it with children, and children are now starting to develop gender confusion.
Or even babies, right? People who are being born, they don't have to put the gender on the birth certificate, and they're saying you can choose whatever you want to be.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and speaking on that one real quick, let me bring that one up, because we have a lot of these artists, these so-called artists and everything. Yeah, these so-called artists like Pink. Yeah, Pink, she decided, oh no, I'm gonna let my child, my baby, we're not gonna give it a sex. We're not gonna say it's a boy or a girl when it's born. We're gonna let our child decide it when it turns 5. And they'll be able to decide what sex they want to be. Well, what are you going to do when the child starts saying,
"Hey, mommy, what's this little thing ding-a-ling around? What's this little thing right here? And these little 2 balls, what is that? What is that for?"
When you're going to tell them, well, you can decide what you want that to be, little Jim or little Sue, or we're going to call you just they. Because we can't figure out a name for you yet, because you got to figure out what your sex is going to be. Woo! These people are freaking sick. They're sick.
Like, that's so dangerous. And even lying to them, saying like, oh, if we put you on hormone blockers at this age, it won't do anything to your puberty. It won't affect you long term. And it's just a straight up lie. And there's like an entire Reddit thread dedicated to people who transitioned, talking about how much they hate their life now because they transitioned as a child, and now they amputated off healthy body parts and are miserable.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is 100% correct. 100% correct. Yes, you're getting a lot more of these people who are these trans people that are killing themselves because now they've done something to their bodies that they regret doing, and it's irreversible. You can't reverse it. So now they're stuck in this thing that they thought was a woman, but really isn't. I saw this one video where the girl was up there, the trans woman was up there in her car crying her tears out because she did something to her vagina, her genitals, took off the manly parts, and they made a vagina, right?
So I just got diagnosed with vaginal stenosis.
And this vagina is trying to heal itself, so it keeps closing up on them.
Fucking regret surgery. However, I knew recovery was going to be hard, but nobody tells you that it could be this fucking hard. diagnosed with vaginal stenosis. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically when scar tissue gets built up inside of the vaginal canal to the point where it's like extremely tight and uncomfortable. For the first year after getting bottom surgery, you have to dilate your vagina religiously because
Yeah. And he's having problems. It won't stay open. And they told me to put this thing inside me, this like tube inside of me to keep the wound open. But the body goes, hey, man, you damaged your body. I'm going to go ahead and close her up now, kind of like a scab. And we're going to go ahead and seal that on up for you, okay? That's what your body's naturally trying to do. And the trans woman is having a problem with this, and it's saying, I don't even have a centimeter of anything for somebody to penetrate me with. I laugh at these people because they're stupid. They're freaking insane. They're Looney Tunes, and this is what they do to themselves. And then they wonder why their bodies reject what's going on because they want to be something that they are not and everything. And now they're trying to make their bodies do something that the body was never meant to do. So now we're going to get to more of what these trans women want to say. Let's see what the trans women want to say. They're going to come in here now and they're going to speak their piece.
The fact that the trans movement has got people shook has me so excited. The trans movement is not indoctrinating our youth. Our youth are understanding who they are at a younger age.
No, they're being indoctrinated at a younger age. That's why they're doing this at young ages, because they got people like you saying, hey, let's teach this to a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old who has no understanding of sex. At this point in time in their life, they want to play with toys and Tinkerbots and Star Wars and stuff like that. But no, you guys want to introduce sex. No, let's start teaching them this shit now so that they'll grow up to be just like us, and we won't feel like we're being, we're the only ones and we're the minority. We want the whole world to flourish like this. That's why you guys are doing it, and of course you got the man here, because that's what it is. It's a man. Look at this bum flip right here. Am I supposed to believe that this fool right in front of me right here with the glasses on, that's supposed to be a woman? Man, that's a straight up dude. Big old buck up face, chin, rock jaw chin. He got all plumped and fat and everything and got this wig on.
1 in 5 transgender youth have tried to commit suicide. Why are we trying to police them?
Why do you think they're doing that? They're doing that because they're confused and they're messed up in the head. You're messed up in the head in the first place when you want to go ahead and cut off your shiz or you want to transform to something else. I want to be a donkey. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to get my teeth on and get them bucked out, and then I'm going to try to walk on all fours and try to make my hands into hooves and all that stuff. Am I going to go that far now? And then find out that this is disgusting and what the frick did I do to myself? And then I'm going to go and probably do something stupid like, I'm going to end my life because I can never be a donkey. I'm sorry, you guys.
But you're bringing it only to the parents. The question was indoctrination in general. Am I correct?
But they are part of that conversation. Someone said something about drag shows coming to schools or whatnot. The kids enjoyed it. The parents just had.
No, the kids don't know any better. Man. The kids don't know any better. They have no clue of what they're looking at. They think it's a clown up there. Because they look like clowns. All that goggle, caked on makeup and so forth. They look like a clown and everything. So the kids, little 4 or 5-year-old, they don't know any different. They're like, oh, there's Bozo the clown. But it's a drag queen up there freaking shaking their shiz in front of the little kids and everything. I heard about one where they were bringing like condoms and dildos and all this stuff, trying to teach the kids this stuff. These are like 17-year-old kids they were doing this with. And so forth. Even the teachers in the class in the library were like, "Well, hey, this is going a little too far. Whoa, hey, what's this?" No, this is not good. But this is what these flipnicks always be, going into. They think that shit is cool. So let's go on to some other stuff that they're talking about here. The ability to give birth is a woman's strength.
Look at the nuances of birth.
I recognize that there are people who have different identities. There are biological women who identify as men and then go on to give birth. I would argue, however, that those people are still biological women.
Yes.
And I know that is something that can offend many, but that stands as my belief.
So the correct term is actually cisgendered woman.
Now see, there they go with that cisgender. I hate that daggum term. Cis men, cisgendered women. Since when? Since you made it up, because you gotta claim your place in the womanhood area and so forth. So women are now are downgrading to a cis woman. Since when did that happen? And everything. Why don't you just call them women? It's a woman. Since women, because that's what they are. They're not cis women. They're women. These people irritate me with this bullshit, y'all. You understand why I get we're going to get further into this.
It means that you identify with the birth that you were assigned. And so, I just really, really wish that we would kind of...
First of all, what do you mean the birth that you were assigned? It's not an assignment. You weren't assigned it. You were born that. Just like you were born black. You weren't assigned the black skin. You were born with black skin. It's real simple. And so forth. But this idiot here wants you to think that, oh no, well, this doctor assigned my sex, but that's not really what I am. Well, motherfucker, if you have two little balls and a little ding-a-lang, you were born a man, a boy, a he, a baby boy. If you were born with a woman's genitals, the little pie, everything, and so forth, then you're a woman. That's what you were born as. That's not something that you were assigned with that part. God gave you that part. Go on, Flip Nick.
Be a little bit more mutable to the terminology, because I think that's what really is going to open up that dialogue and that discussion.
If I may, I think the crux of the conversation kind of comes back to, are trans women women? And I think if we don't agree there, it's going to be very difficult to kind of keep the conversation going or even agree on the points that you guys are talking about, because if we don't believe that trans women are women, then the conversation kind of ends there in terms of whether they're like men can give birth or not, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, what she just said right there, ladies and gentlemen, oh man. And this girl makes a lot of great points. This girl makes a lot of great points, because I saw when she schooled this lady on something with the whole birth thing that was really phenomenal, what she said and everything. And I'm gonna go into that because she said it perfectly. I was like, yes. If everybody said what she just said, the debate would be over. Boom, done, and so forth. But she just said, we're never going to agree that you guys are actual real women. That's the gist here. You guys are men who want to be women. You were born a man. You still even have your man parts, and yet you want to go over here and tell this girl here, well, you guys don't know what it means to be a woman. I think you guys. That's what this fool said at the beginning. I think most cis women don't know what it is to be a woman. I know what a woman should be. I know how to define what a woman is and everything. Really, but you're a dude who's trying to be like the women over here, the real women. And I say the real women because that's what they are. They're the real women, and these are the fake imposters. Okay? Go on.
It's a good question.
Womanhood, to me, is about standing in integrity. It is about being confident in who you are. And me, as a Black trans woman, should not be a threat to you. And what I see from a lot of cisgender women,
it's not that you're being a threat. It's that you're technically trans women are a threat to women in as far as sports and things that the women do, going into the women's bathroom. That's a threat to them because they know that you're technically a man. And for all we know, some of these people that want to say that they're trans women are only saying it so that they can get into the girls' bathroom and get in the girls' locker room and watch the women change. Oh, the girls' soccer team. I remember they were just talking about this, and they had a trans coach. Oh, yeah. And the trans coach would sit in the daggum locker room watching the girls undress. Yeah. They felt very uncomfortable with this, but when they said something about it, they were all immediately, reprimanded. I'm like, what the frick? Really? Because these women are uncomfortable with this man who says he's a woman now. All of a sudden, he puts on a wig and a dress. He wore his wife's dress, by the way, his deceased wife's dress. He became a trans after his wife died. Isn't that kind of odd?
Is they're trying to deem what womanhood is supposed to look like. I have my own perspective of womanhood. We can coexist in the same world, but the reality is we get so stuck on parts. Having a vagina is not the only thing that makes you a woman.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
I'm sorry. It takes integrity, it takes courage, it takes lifting other women up. It takes those things to begin to defy womanhood. And there's so many other different things.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, so if I were a white person and I said blackness is about integrity and courage and kind of the same thing that you used to define womanhood, and then I said I want to transition into a black person and I'm white. And I'm redefining what blackness is to fit what I view it as, right? There's no objective reality of what blackness is. Would you consider that appropriation, or do you think that's something I should be allowed to do?
I consider that dodging, and I consider that comparing apples to oranges, because race and gender identity are two separate different things. Because when we look at race,
they're not two separate different things. You're basically saying that I can't. So if I go and say that I'm white now, all of a sudden, you have a problem with that. A white person said that they're black, all of a sudden now you have a problem with that. Well, that's different. That's a whole nother thing. That's different. No, you can't go there. What are you doing? Now you're coming over here in the black zone, and we can't be having that because now you're doing blackface. That's racist. You see how they want to change it up when it doesn't fit their narrative? All of a sudden, no, that's different. Oh no, that's called dodging, not cultural appropriation. Well, whatever happened to cultural appropriation? I thought that was what that was all about. Okay. Go on, Mr. Woman.
We have to look at many, many different structures of what whiteness and white supremacy looks like, and how white supremacy can be manipulated into other things. And what happens...
So all of a sudden now it's being manipulated into other things. I love how they got that this person just defines their own way of deflecting that off. No, that's different. Sorry, can't do that one though. But you can be a man and wants to be a woman. We can do that though.
Is the closer you are in proximity to whiteness, you're able to weaponize it against other people. It reminds me a lot of Rachel Dolezal, who, masqueraded as a black woman. It really did open up many more doors of conversation.
Oh, so they masqueraded. Listen to what this person just said. Masqueraded? They masqueradred as a black woman. They're talking about that one white lady that put the braids in her hair and everything, and she's trying to make herself more darker skin and all that and so forth, and she became, a black woman now. Now she's saying that's masquerading. You're perpetrating blackness. You can't do that. Really? But you can perpetrate being a woman though. That's okay. See how these people are hypocrites, ladies and gentlemen? They're hypocrites. That's all they are to me. Straight up. They are hypocritical flipnicks, and that's all they ever bring to the table is, that doesn't fit into my zone of my world belief, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that off. Why are you gonna cut that off? You don't need to cut that part off. You that's just as crazy as what you're trying to do, but they believe that that's what they are. They believe they're black, so why can't they be black? Oh no, according to you can't do that. That's a masquerade, like you're doing, right? Yeah, you're masquerading around being trying to be a woman when you're really a man. Okay, sure. Oh yeah, and here's a good one, y'all.
Allowed to compete in women's sports
and so forth. So yeah, so let's get into what this dude. Okay, because I call him dude. That's what it is to me. You're a dude and everything, but. Now the dude wants to be able to go into this same guy. This is the reason why I wouldn't want my daughter being anywhere around somebody like this. Because this motherfucker wants to go into my daughter's bathrooms and into the same bathroom, want to play on the same sports. My daughter's into volleyball and everything. But this dude would crush because dudes are stronger. They're quicker, faster. They have that type of flow, our density, our bone strength. This person's going to say, "Oh no, I take hormones, so I'm weak. I'm about as weak as a woman now." No, you're not. Our bone density, our muscle density, everything is 100% stronger than a woman's. Automatically, the hormones aren't going to stop that. Go on, Flip Nick.
Every right to compete in women's sports. When trans women are on hormones, the hormones break their body down. Having gender affirming surgery breaks down the body. And so I think we really need to be educated before we jump to a conclusion.
I guarantee you, this trans woman here would be able to beat down every one of them girls over there, them female women. Guarantee you. I guarantee you that trans women, if they had to fight and they were about this fool right here, would pick and body slam them freaking girls. Look at his build, dude.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
Look at him. Broad shoulders. Look at him. Dude, this dude automatically, and he's probably not even somebody that lifts weights so long, he automatically will freaking blow these girls away in strength. But he thinks, oh no, it breaks down our body. It breaks down our body. No, it doesn't. It makes your voice a little softer and everything. It gives you a couple little extra flow in your breasts and stuff like that. It feminizes you that way, but it's not breaking down your bone density. It's not breaking down that muscle, those tendons. Men have stronger and thicker tendons than women. That's not breaking down. None of that stuff breaks down, ladies and gentlemen, with hormones.
That trans women are stronger than cis women in sports. Hi, everybody.
I find it interesting that you assume the people who disagree with you are uneducated, and I will speak out against that. I think the research shows that trans women do happen to have a biological advantage against biological women. Even though you are taking hormones, and that does start to change your body and level things out, we're talking about primarily people who have transitioned post-puberty, which means they do have male bone density, male wingspan, male hand size, feet size, lung capacity. All of these things are going against women, biological women, when trans women start to enter their spaces, their sports, and compete against them. And this is really concerning for me.
I think for me, it's not a question of whether or not trans women can compete in sports. It's a question of how can we change the institution of sports in this country to make it equitable and to create more opportunity.
Why would we change the institution of sports? And then unless you want to add something to it, like a trans league, then maybe you should do that. I think if you trans women want to be in a sport that allows them to, so that they don't compete against real men or men that didn't take hormones, then they should have a league for trans women, a league for trans men, and so forth. That way it'll be fair. Now you guys can go up against other trans women. You guys go up against other trans men. That's what I think you should do. I think that if you guys want to do that and you guys have to beat it, then yes, go up against other trans people and so forth. That way it's an even still thing. That means that technically you're still going up against men. You're just going up against men that are taking hormones now that make their density and strength a little less than main real men. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you settle this. But to put you in the same sport with this little girl right here, this girl with that brother right here, this dude would he would outsprint this girl, outbench this girl. He could pick this girl up and toss her and so forth. But he wants to be in the same room with her. He wants to be in her dressing room as well. No, especially if you still got a dangling. If you want to be in the same dressing room with her, then you better cut that shiz off then. You better not have no dangling, ballangs flowing. But you better have it all off. Then you can go in there.
For cis women, for trans women. And that's kind of why I wanted to actually ask you all, what has your relationship to sports been?
I don't think you have to have a direct relationship to sports to realize that women are being affected by this issue, and I do reject the idea of equity. There is no way to come about an equality of outcome, which is what equity is saying. There's a reason that women's sports are less funded and less watched than men's sports. It's because men seem to excel athletically, and they seem to press the bounds of athleticism way farther than women do. We now exist on a slippery slope. If it's female sports, is it then female locker rooms? Is it then female prisons, which we're now seeing becoming an issue here in California, where biological male inmates are being put in female facilities because they identify as women?
Advantage was just unbelievable. I've been on hormones for 15 years. Did it weaken me? Absolutely. Did my bone density really hasn't changed? My muscular hasn't changed. And this is not a binary question. There's a lot of nuances involved.
I just want to ask a question for what you were saying. Can you throw out some statistics?
Statistics?
I don't think you need to have so there's an abundance of research. There's even trans activists who agree with exactly what I'm saying. And your hormones can change, right? And even she just spoke to the fact that her bone density did not change in going on hormones and changing these things. And we can see it in sports as we're watching them. Leah Thomas is a great example.
So if you can't throw out the statistics, we're not doing enough of the work. And let's also be clear, there are some cisgender women who produce high levels of testosterone as well. And so we really have to unpack it from all different sides here.
This fool's in complete denial. Complete denial. This fool actually thinks, oh, no, we got to do more research. We got to do it. Dude, we see it in sports all the time. The dudes beat the girls out every single time. Men are freaking stronger than women. You see it in the track things. These trans women always freaking beat the women in track. Leah Thompson was freaking killing it in the women's sport. He had to freaking actually slow himself down just so that he wouldn't look like he was always beating them. So he actually purposely lost some races just so that he wouldn't look, so they wouldn't take him out of women's sports. But when it came to the big one, oh, he was ping, ping, ping. He was on it like white on rice. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was doing. Every time you see these trans women, go up against other biological women, they tear them up. But this fool here wants to try to give you some bullshit. Oh no, we need to do some other research on it. Where's the statistics, dude? I watched it. I'll show you right in a video.
A biological male has just become the first transgender person to win a world title in cycling.
It happens every single time, dude. Blow women away. Every time. Please.
Yeah, I think in our society, it's so sexualized, everyone and everything, and I think we owe a lot of that to pornography and just media, and I think the kind of acceptance that I do see more so in the LGBT community of sex is great and let everyone talk about it and there's no shame and everyone's just blurting out, the fact that we're perpetuating a culture that's frankly, in my opinion, disgusting.
So are you talking specifically about LGBT people?
I'm talking more so just about this sexual revolution, that the more sexual you are, the more partners you have, the more open you are about your sex life and everything, the more liberated you are. What is consent? And
I can vouch for all that because it's true. The gay people, the only way that they can show that they're gay is to show their sex. Because in other words, most people, like Dave Rubin, for instance, I didn't know this guy was gay. He's a conservative gay guy, but I didn't know that he was gay at first. I didn't know till after maybe, I don't know how many shows he did, that I found out that he was actually gay. The problem with these type of people is they want everybody to know that's what they are. That's the reason why they change themselves up to look more like a woman, to do it because they want to flaunt it out there. It's not enough for them to just be, well, I feel like a woman, so I'm going to be a woman and I ain't going to, go through all these other things to try to look like a woman. No, they want you to know that they're a woman. They want you to accept that they're a woman. That's why they come up with cis woman now and everything, because now you got to belittle a real woman to lift them up, to make them feel like they're the real women now. Oh, I know what it means to be a real woman and so forth. No, you don't, because you're a freaking dude and everything. Those are real women. They know what it's like to be a real woman. You don't. And so forth. They're the ones that actually carry a baby and have birthed a baby. You will never know what that feels like. And so forth. Women go through tremendous pain and agony and all kinds of craziness during the carrying of a child and everything. You know, I remember, you know, my ex and everything carrying my little girl and so forth. She, you know, had cravings for weird foods and had sickness, you know, that throwing up and all that kind of stuff that, you know, you get when you're pregnant. Men will never experience that stuff and so forth. So you don't come on here trying to act like you know what women go through. You have no clue to what women go through. That is what you call the definition of mansplaining, in my personal opinion.
I am comfortable sharing bathrooms with the other side.
Yes,
Big no-no in my book,
Safe,
y'all.
that might be a different question, but comfortable, yes, I feel comfortable.
What I think the bathroom issue opens up is an issue of predatory men taking advantage of the opening. That now they could walk into a women's bathroom or a women's locker room, as we've seen happen in instances like here in Los Angeles at We Spa. And they go into a women's space, they expose themselves to the women, and then they say, well, I'm a trans woman and you've opened up this space for me.
And that's happened many a times, ladies and gentlemen, many a times. That happened up there in Hollywood. Like she said, they went into the spa. This dude's up there with his shiz just jang-a-langing, saying he's a woman. And all these women got their little girls and stuff in there, and he's flaunting his shiz all in front of these little girls and older women and stuff like that. And so forth. They were appalled. They were freaked out. They got their kids out of there, and they tried to complain to the establishment about what was going on. The establishment didn't care. Oh, I'm sorry, but you know, they're trans women, so they have the right to be in there too. And they're like, no. These are men, and he's got his swinging parts all up in front of my little girl's face. No, and everything. See, this is where the shit goes too far.
But we cannot blame trans people for that. And
Nobody's blaming you.
That's the problem right here. Because again, when you walk into the bathroom, I'm not interested in knowing what you are, what you identify as. I'm trying to use the bathroom and leave out of there.
Says you though, but that's not all trans people. Because some people are going to take advantage of that. It's a slippery slope. So what she's saying is maybe you won't do it, but Joe Blow over there will. So I'm not worried about maybe you, but I'm worried about the other guy and the guy him and the other guy and the next guy who may do that stuff, which has been happening all the time. There's one kid at a high school already, ladies and gentlemen. You guys all know the deal. Y'all know the deal and everything. That one dude at that high school kid already 2 times did this. Got kicked out of one school because he went into a girl's bathroom and raped a little girl. Then he went into another one and he went to that school. Same thing. Raped a little 9-year-old girl.
Our schools. What we had here is that Scott's daughter was sexually assaulted in a bathroom based upon the school's bathroom policy. It was a male wearing a dress. He obviously was upset about that. He was at a school board meeting in June, and this assault took place in May.
According to school policy, Tony, Loudoun County students are allowed to use their chosen name and gender to determine which bathroom they'll use. Some parents say that's what led to these allegations of sexual abuse. What do you say to that?
Well, clearly the policies that they're adopting on this, I mean, look, this is insanity that we're allowing boys that have all of their parts as boys to go in girls' restrooms. That's what leads to assault. I mean, it doesn't take, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure this one out.
And everything. He was a trans woman and everything. This kid is like freaking 15 or some 13 years old or something like that, and he rapes a little 9-year-old. Yeah, that's what happens. But they want to act like, oh no, that's not going to happen. No, you're trying to say this about all trans. We're not saying about all trans people. We're saying that some people that will take advantage of what your movement is will do this. This makes it unsafe for real women. Flip Nick. Let's get back onto the flow.
What people have tried to say is that when trans women go into the bathrooms, they're being predatory, and that is not the case. That is something we do not blame on trans women. Although you were not saying that, when we talk about predatory behavior and when we talk about like the predatory cases, none of them have been trans women. So let's just, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, they have.
I know she's not, I know she's not strictly doing that, but because she said that, I think it's very important that I bring that out on the table and discuss that.
We have to have the conversation, and I'll open up the question. We know that if this legislation happens, if we move forward with this move, there are going to be men who take advantage of it. Now, I want to ask you, is your comfort as far as going to the bathroom more important than the female women that will be victimized by this?
Who said female women will be victimized by this?
They will, and they have.
No, you're only assuming, but the reality of it is.
It's not an assumption, dumb flip. You see what these people try to do, ladies and gentlemen? They try to make your argument like, oh, that ain't gonna happen. Oh, you're just assuming. It's already has happened.
Listen to the man. High school girls were just beaten up by a transgender girl in the women's restroom. The boy who beat them up was able to walk directly into the girls' restroom unobstructed by teachers or faculty or staff because he just identified as a girl, and no one wants to be labeled a transphobe these days, so they had to just let him walk right in. Once in the bathroom, he began fighting with the first female, who he knocked to the ground and began to kick her and punch her repeatedly while she was on the ground. Another student, recognizing that her friend was getting beaten up by a boy, tried to help, only to also find herself getting beat up. The two young women were badly beaten and bruised, their eyes swollen shut, possible concussions, and this is all made possible because of the radical trans ideology.
Hello? Where have you been, you flipneck? This shit has happened many a times already by trans women or supposable dudes who say that they're women, but are they? That's the point. It's already been proven. There's articles on it. You've seen it on the news. Where have you been?
Again, when people are going into the restroom, when people are only going into the restroom, they're only focused on doing one or two things, and that's using the restroom.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Wrong. You know how many women have been raped in restrooms? Dumb flip. You know how many women have actually been raped in restrooms? This guy's in denial and everything. They're talking to these people like talking to a wall. Literally, you're talking to a wall. You ain't never gonna get through to this fool because he wants what he wants. He wants to be you. And if he can't be you, he's not going to be happy with himself. So he wants to do everything that the woman does. I want to go into your spaces now. Now that I say that I'm a woman, now I should be able to go into your freaking bathrooms, into your sports. That's what this guy's for. Everything that we completely are against and so forth. Because he wants to impose his life and his ways on women. And I'm completely against that. Go on.
Uncomfortable going to the bathroom.
And trans people are not a delusion. Let's make it very clear. We're here. We've been here for ages. We've been here since the beginning of time. We're in your history books.
Here it is.
And I think it's very disingenuous to say that a whole identity is a delusion.
Here it is.
I believe that you feel like women. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is an objective truth, and I don't believe in his truth, her truth, their truth, my truth. Like, there is truth, and...
Who defined that truth?
And, like, it's already...
God. She's a Christian, so she's going to tell you who actually defined it. Go on, girl.
It's already defined, and I, as a Christian, I believe God is the one who set truth.
But who defined that?
Is the truth.
She just told you, you dumb flip. We're not listening? Well, but who defined that? God! God defined it! Really? Like, really? Who defined that? See, people, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the show and everything. These people don't believe in God. They want to act like they believe in God sometimes, and they'll say they do, but they don't really believe in God. Because when she said God defined it, she didn't want to take that one as the actual answer.
Talk about chromosomes, it goes back to the conversation we were talking about earlier about being intersex.
But we're not talking about intersex. We're talking about people who were born as a male and they try to transition. The whole fact that they're trying to transition into a female in the first place shows that they aren't actually that, or else there would be no need to transition, right?
Bingo! 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 She said everything that needed to be said right there. You wouldn't have to transition if you were already a woman. You wouldn't have to. You don't need to transition. Oh no, let her finish.
So you say, okay, I feel like a woman. What is that? What does that feel like?
Yeah, how does it?
And how do you know?
I'm not saying I feel like a woman. I am a woman. I don't.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
No, you're not. You're a dude with a dick and balls. You're not a woman.
Then why did you transition? Why can't you just present as a man but be a woman?
I transitioned so I could be who I was. I did not.
I transitioned so I could be who I was. And MJ, remember I was talking about this last night. I transitioned so I could be who I was. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Ability to give.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it on that, y'all. This person is a freaking idiot. Let's just be real and everything. So for you guys need to get with the times. Y'all need to get with the times and get with the. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at Webster's dictionary. We can say the same thing about the Bible. Don't get mad at us for saying what God said in the Bible. Get mad at God and everything. That's who you're really upset with, because you're mad that God didn't make you what you wanted to be and so forth. So what you really have a problem with is God. And that's who you're going to be dealing with in the very end, in the end times. That's who you're going to be dealing with. You ain't going to be dealing with some guy like me on YouTube and so forth. You're going to be dealing with God. All these people are going to be dealing with God, because in the end, God has the last laugh. You guys don't get that yet because you're not 6 feet deep yet. But when that time happens, you guys are going to be begging. You're going to be, please, Lord, please. And God's going to say, I never knew you. End of the game. You guys live your great life here on earth for as much as you think you're going to get to live it. Some of you guys are committing suicide. So some of you guys don't even live that long to enjoy the things that God gave to you here on the earth and so forth. Because you guys are delusional and crazy. You think these women are delusional? Cis women are delusional. No, they're not. And everything. You're delusional. You're the weird one. And so forth. And I'm going to continue saying that all the time. And so forth. Stop trying to make everybody else think you're something that we all know you're not. And so forth. You want to believe that you're that way? Fine. Believe that you're a woman. You want to be a trans woman? Cool. You want to be a trans man? Cool. Do you? I always say that and so forth. But the problem is, and what these topics are about, is that these trans people want to bring their livelihoods and push it off on people who are straight. They're so-called cis people and everything. Cis means the same. Why would a woman be a cis woman? What's a woman the same woman? What? I don't understand that. But anyway, that's what these people believe. They want to push their beliefs out on you and everything. We're not trying to push you, but you are doing that. That's what you are doing. You just admitted in this last conversation about sports, I want to be able to go into women's bathrooms. I want to be able to go into the women's sports and everything. You're pushing your livelihood on people who don't believe in that. And that's the point. That's the fine line in the red sand and so forth. You guys want to keep crossing that part. And that's when it gets very, very bad. That's when we get upset. That's when we start tripping, because you guys don't want to stay on that side of that other side of the line where it's just you and that only affects you. When you want to become a woman, now you want to go into the women's sports, you want to go into the women's bathrooms. That's affecting real women who don't want that because they know you're a man. Okay. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is TJQUaKe. You know how I do. I'm TJQUaKe, your ghetto gamer. I just had to come up with this crazy little flavor. I'm bringing it in the new year here pretty soon. We're going to have some new crazy stuff coming your way and so forth. Sorry I've been away for a minute. You know, like I said, I've been upgrading stuff and dealing with Christmas and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I kind of took a little break and you know, now I'm back in the mix again. So we're definitely going to be bringing some crazy stuff into the new year. Be looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, share, and like this video. I'm TJQUaKe. You know how I do. I'm about at 5,000 Drake.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm TJQUaKe, the ghetto gamer. On this. Yeah. Here we go. I'm TJQUaKe, the ghetto gamer. On this gaming thing. Gonna bang them up. Gonna shoot them up. Right here on Gaming Strain. Bang, bang. Blaze it on up. TJQUaKe. We're busting like the 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Let's get into this, y'all. TJQUaKe, the Ghetto Gaming Show.